Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all my real human beings who are trying to be real human beings. Literally, I do trust on you. I know that you are working on your self. I do trust that you are working on your self improvement. You are gathering all the energies, those are making you being relentlessly beautiful as human beings. I know that. So, you are watching Sabrina Saki from her YouTube channel named as শখে ধারণ করে সাধারণ. In our lives, there are some situations or there are some circumstances that we do have to accept. But in reality, we can embrace that situation in a positive way. You have to trust yourself at first. You have to trust me because I am being constantly improvised and I have been getting reinforcement from different kinds of personalities. I am receiving some sort of positive reinforcement from different types of people who are being exceedingly passionately marvelous to me. These are the people whose souls are connected with mine. So you have to trust me. On this platform, I am going to be sharing however or whatever I do inculcate all these natures in me just to make you a bit cautious, a bit conscious. Therefore, in terms of the people who have been priceless to you, I can understand. All of a sudden, they passed away. So they are in the paradise now. So a great loss occurred in your life. I can understand. So you are going through a very bad situation. Those cannot be understood by anybody around this world except for yourself. But life goes on. Life has its own spirit, and you will have to grow your mind just by embracing all the situations that you do come across or you will have to experience. So, the people who have been connected with your soul, who you used to share everything with, all of a sudden, they went off. Now, you are not a happy loner. You are being lonely as a person. I can understand. We have social media platform to share everything. We can send messages to each other. We can exchange our views. We have several platforms. But did you ever think about sharing your views or whatever experiences you are gathering or collecting or your daily life's journey? Whoever you are sharing with are being validated. At the end of the day, are they bothered about your problem? Not at all. It might be sounding repetitive because there are so many motivational speakers who are also talking about the same things. So I am also getting inspired from them to motivate myself in terms of development of my mental health. So whenever great loss occurs, social media platform to some extent, I guess, might not work because you are massively missing that person. The presence of that person is being missed from your life now. Nothing can complement. Nobody can make any compensation for the loss, what you have gone through, for the loss, whatever happened in your life. It is a sort of great loss that occurred in your life. But how about making a divine connection with that existence? Probably you will be missing that physical existence of that person. Maybe that person is not wondering. You are not privileged to see him or her. You are not privileged to talk to her. Rather, you could have done so many other things instead. You have to trust me. There is a connection called spiritual bonding. So, whenever you are at your nirvana stage, you can make that connection. You have that connection with that existence who is at paradise now. What about writing a letter to that person? What about enjoying the moment? What about any kind of celebration comes and you are enjoying your moment? Can be shared with that person or used to be shared with that person. What about maybe talking to that person even inside your head? In terms of celebration of your happiness, you can write a letter to that person. In terms of celebration of your grief, yes, we can celebrate our grief. Whenever we are dejected, we cry, we get grumpy. So inside our head, there is a constant conversation that keeps on going. So what about looking at the sky and envisage his or her face? What about taking out the fragrance with the help of the nature? What about buying some birds and set them free as a form of spiritual connection with that existence? Those are being badly missed. What about buying some stuff on behalf of that precious existence and giving these things to others who you like or who are extremely close to you? What about watching a movie and finding the character that has some similarities with that existence? What about embracing his or her attire and grabbing the fragrance out of this? It could be possible. You will have to just trust me on this regard. What about planting trees? What about waiting for that plant? Those are surprisingly going to be giving you some flowers one fine day. You will figure it out. What about getting yourself drenched when the weather is torrential? What about doing some good deeds used to be done by that existence? What about buying the same attire? What about just looking like him or her? that the person used to look like before? What about recreating some memories with that amazing existence? What about being even much more sorted? What about being busy with a good task? What about serving people with your good traits as a form of affection? Those are getting dedicated towards that amazing existence, and every single now and then you are recreating the moment with that person. You are preserving that person. You are bringing that person back in your life with his or her amazing existence. You are catching him, you are catching her existence with your beautiful dream. What about manifesting that person in your dream? What about praying? What about getting people acknowledged? What about being surrounded with divine people who are less toxic? What about reading a great poem? What about writing a song, even if you know that you are not a writer? What about going to an exhibition and finding his or her aura? What about traveling? What about getting a person's problem sorted whenever he or she is in great misery? So all these good deeds you are doing on behalf of that priceless existence is literally making you feel being surrounded with that existence. And that is how you are finding that person back. That is how you are being constantly remembered by that existence who is at paradise now. And that is how you are also remembering that existence but crying. You may cry. Crying is not a crime. You may cry, but do not show your vulnerability. You do not have to divulge everything. You do not have to seek for constant validation or sympathy from others. People are not always going to be empathizing with your grief and sorrow. They might not be related with this. They might not be able to connect with your misery. So you know better how you can make that existence constantly rejuvenated. Because whenever a person does pass away, it's not like we will be venting, we will be crying, then all of a sudden the entire memory will be lost in terms of that person. Rather, you were supposed to constantly remember that person with your good deeds or piety. That's what we are being taught by our Almighty, and that's how our life should be led. It is unfortunate that once a person is gone, that person can never come back, but still that person's aura, that person's presence can be there inside us as a form of different types of celebrations, as a form of different types of actions. So these are all for today. So I hope it could makes some sense. If it doesn't, pardon from my side. Bye.